I think he can hear you, Ray.
Don't move. It won't hurt you.
I feel the need for speed. Ow! So together we're the Three Amigos.
Right here. Stop.
What happened? Are you okay?
He's slimy.
It's getting hot in here. Is it just me?
No, go past this. Past this part. In fact, never play this again.
George of the jungle, strong as he can be. Watch out for that tree.
Why did I not see that coming?
We are going to the jungle tonight, ladies and gentlemen.
Well played, sir.
Hey, R2. Good to see you. Yeah. Welcome, everyone, to After the Weekend. This is Adventure Month, September. Last week, if you missed it, we did... I already forgot it.
Treasure Planet.
There you go. So, yeah, you can check that out. But this Monday, live on After the Weekend, where we review the past movies that have a little spot in our heart that we enjoy. And tonight we're doing Jumanji, and we're going to the jungle. Kat says was appropriate.
Don't encourage him.
Yeah, we are definitely going to the jungle, and hopefully you can join us the whole time. Wow, 95. Yeah, this movie came out in 1995. I remember it pretty fondly as a kid. There are monkeys in this, Beard, so be prepared.
Monkeys and apes are different.
Yeah, in the jungle, you must wait until the dice read 5 or 8. That is correct. You are absolutely correct. The spiders. Yeah, lots of animals.
Oh, yeah.
Lots of stuff. Everyone, thanks for showing up tonight. This will be fun. By the way, we have a PSA announcement before we get started. This is not the rock version. This is not. We're not reviewing the Jumanji video game. We are reviewing the board game.
Yeah. Not to be that guy, but I'm going to go ahead and say it. The only redeeming quality about the sequel, the rock version, is Gillian Anderson.
Yeah, I guess you could say that. Yeah. But
who pulls off a better Lara Croft look than most modern Lara Croft looks.
Yeah, when I saw this movie come out, I was interested, but then right after the movie, I was. Yeah, we're not doing the rock version. We are doing Jumanji with Robin Williams, who was a major star in the 1990s, and he was very well known with kids too. So
yeah,
definitely going to be a fun movie to talk about. Now, was this a first watch for you?
Oh, absolutely not.
Okay.
I watched this one a lot when I was younger.
That's great.
I feel the need for speed. Ow!
That makes me happy.
I didn't have to rewatch this earlier today, but I did anyway. Like, I could have come into this not having seen it for the past few years and still been able to talk about it like I will today.
Yeah, it's one of those fun movies. Ricky, why aren't you on stream? Yeah, he's still a little under the weather. It's kind of a day by day thing, and we hope he was here. We wish he was here, but he's saving his energy because he's going to show up for our 100th review episode, which we're reviewing Goonies with a panel of guests. I think it's more of a probably reviewing. A lot of people have seen Goonies, except for you, Beard. So you will have a review, but the rest of us will remember it.
You're going to revisit. I will experience it for the first time.
Right. So you're going to have like 20 minutes where you get to go in depth about the movie. So be prepared.
Oh,
I'm going to give you 20 to 25 minutes. And I want to get first reactions. And
I'm going to have to type it out double spaced.
I'm not telling the guests that until they are on the channel. I want live reactions.
Look, if they knew me well enough, if they watched enough of the show, they would know. Yes. Okay. All right.
Yeah. That, you know what that deserves? Deserves a lot of. I can't even find it now because I'm so upset.
You're so flustered.
Yeah. I can't find it.
There's a reason I'm known as the guy who is. I've said many times, I don't know why I'm the guy that reviews movies because I've never seen any movies.
Stupid fat hobbit.
No, that's fair.
Yeah. Well.
Oh, yeah, Jape is calling me out. I didn't mean Karen Jillian, not Jillian Anderson. Jacob, it's your fault because I've been watching X-Files on your channel.
All right, back to the Jumanji.
Yes.
Jungle movie. This one, we're going to hint at a trivia, but most people don't know. You did not know. But this is actually based off a book that was pretty popular in the early 90s. Won some awards. Kind of like if you've all seen Polar Express, a book like that, a kid's book. I remember reading it multiple times in my library.
I never read it.
My library had multiple copies because it was always borrowed. But this
it's a little bit older than you and me. I think it was published in 81.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but it was very popular. It's pretty old. It's 43 years old.
Yeah, I was much more of a sci-fi kid, even at a young age. So this would have flown under my radar.
You weren't into the monkeys back then like you are now.
No, instead of reading this, I was reading things like 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea and Journey to the Center of the Earth and things like that.
You weren't in your monkey phase. Okay.
No. Okay. Just stop. I'm not feeding into that.
Okay, so Jumanji, Robin Williams, an adventure for those who seek to find a way to leave their world behind. And then there was another poster that said, "Are you game?" So it is about a board game where kids play, and a lot of craziness happens with either monkeys, lions, giant mosquitoes, and they have to finish the game, or the jungle just overtakes a lot of their life.
Basically, anything that comes into their world through the game will stay until they finish. And honestly, it's a predatory. Yeah, he would. It's a predatory thing because it basically seeks out kids that are looking to get away from their own life.
She can't focus right now. Well, you could tell you what. When you next Monday, make sure you show up, Kat. Give him a lot of grief.
Look, if people really want, maybe I'll do the truffle shuffle on camera.
The fact that you even know that and you haven't seen the movie.
Look, I've seen plenty of clips. I've just never seen the movie. Hey, Aaron, what's up, man?
Yeah, thanks for showing up. But Jumanji, great kids movie. Robert Williams was always good in kids style movies. I don't know if mostly because he was a dad or he just liked kids. Like he was good in like Miss Doubtfire. He was fun in this movie. There was quite a few others where he was just Hook. We reviewed Hook on this channel. So especially in the 90s, Robert Williams, I don't know what happened. He went from like doing drugs in the 80s to hanging out with kids in the 90s, and he seemed to really enjoy himself.
It happens to a lot of comedians and even some of the like over the top action actors from back in the day. Is when they start settling down and having families, they kind of shift their priorities because they want to make something that their kids can see, which is kind of ironic because apparently Robin Williams didn't allow his kids to watch this movie because he thought it was a little bit too scary for him.
Aaron, I'm not sure, man. Sometimes our stream elements is a little sensitive, so if you like do a lot of caps, emojis, or maybe if you call Beard a monkey lover, you'll get muted. So
yeah, I don't know, man. It's not showing up on my end.
we would see your stuff even if it was muted. Hopefully you're not muted, but maybe Rick or some other mod could check that out. All right. So again, it came out. Did you see this in the movie theater by chance as a kid?
I'm pretty sure I did.
Yeah, me too. It was fun. It was a good one. Mom, take you. Everyone wants to cancel you. Well, we can't cancel him. He has to show up to the
No,
show.
he's saying don't cancel me. He's pushed me too hard to get here.
Oh, okay.
He's on my side.
Yeah. One thing to note that this movie, when it came out, and I'm going to jump to something real quick. It was a TriStar Columbia movie, Interscope, and it was a production by Joe Johnson. Kristen Dunst was in it. David Allen Gear, like I said, Robin Williams. So yeah, it was about 104 minutes. So it's a PG movie, good movie for kids, especially back then. So, well, he's going to watch it soon. But this movie kind of takes place. It kind of has a couple different time jumps.
Yes.
So it first starts out. You hear the thumping, the jungle beat. It's nice little. These kids are. You could hear it like when you're like, what is that? You're not sure. But if you read the book, you would know because it thumps when it wants you to play. It has like a nice, good sound to it.
Yeah, I mean, like I said earlier, it finds like its victim as a kid who wants to escape their world, and it's like a Venus flytrap sort of thing.
Right. So 1869 is when we kind of first get a hint of this game, and these two young boys are like, we got to get rid of this thing. We got to bury it way out in the forest, by the way, where no one can find it.
And as much as I love this movie, why not burn it, or at least show them trying to and it failing to burn? Like that it's like some sort of like eldritch object that can't be destroyed, so that's why they have to hide it.
I don't think it can be burned, to be honest.
I agree. I don't think they can, because this seems to me like some like evil thing that's existed since time immemorial. Like it's just been out there forever.
It's kind of like Annabelle's doll.
Yeah.
Like in the rock version, they hint that this thing could transform or to a different style, whatever kids are into. So like maybe for the first 100 years here, whenever this game was invented, maybe it was a board game. And then now it's a video game because more kids are interested in that.
Mm-hmm. I mean, and that fits into the idea that it's existed for much longer than we have any idea here.
Yeah, maybe when the kids buried it, it wasn't a board game. Maybe it was some other game thing that kids played back in the 1800s.
Yeah.
For $10, I could break that game. Oh, okay.
Actually, okay. A brief aside. There was I think it was Brian Brushwood on YouTube told a story about. No, it was somebody he had on his show. Told a story about his friend when they were kids that was so paranoid about a Ouija board, he decided to try and burn it to get rid of it. But because it's a Hasbro thing, they have to make it flame resistant. And so he couldn't burn it. So he's so freaked out about it not being able to burn, like it being like this demonic thing. And he just like locked it away in his garage. And apparently the dude went to his grave without his buddy ever telling him. Yeah, without his buddy ever telling them, hey, it's just a flame retardant material. It's not demon possessed. So, yeah, that's where my brain just went now with the burning and things. That's kind of I mean, the guy did express a little bit of like remorse. He's like, man, I feel really bad not telling my guy for like 20 years that it wasn't actually a demon possessed board.
Well, that makes sense because like in movies, that show it burning, it's not burning. You know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, back to Jumanji.
Yeah, some other game that will get you in trouble. Then we jump forward to 100 years later, really, 1969, and we meet Alan Parrish. His dad works at Parrish Shoe Company. He's just a normal kid, you know, with a cool swing bike there. He's the rich kid in town because his dad pretty much employs probably 50% of the town in his shoe company. Yeah. And so he's kind of awkward because of that, I think. He does get bullied. But his dad has been in this town, you know, for a while. If you look at the date there, quality since 1850.
Yeah, it's a family business. It's been around forever.
Yeah, since those boys were bearing the game. So his, you know, maybe they're related. Who knows? They didn't really mention that. But you kind of thought it was funny, the naming of the company, Parrish Shoes.
Yeah, I don't know why all this time until right before we went live, in my brain I'd never linked pair of shoes and pair of shoes.
Yeah.
I'm a little slow. Sometimes it takes me about 30 years to figure something out.
Do you remember the town name?
Oh, I don't.
No.
Oh, I even remember like looking at that earlier.
So it's in New Hampshire. I don't think it's Parrish, New Hampshire, but it's
Brantford.
Brantford, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I think the actual town is some other real town.
Yeah, I remember coming across that. That might be in my trivia. I can't quite recall.
People who haven't seen Goonies are slow. Thanks, R2.
I can't argue and say no.
Yeah, so you get introduced to him, and he's just kind of like, I think some of us has probably been this kid, right? Not a lot of friends.
Oh, yeah.
Likes a girl. Doesn't know how to talk to that girl. But yeah, he's just kind of a shy kind of kid. Now the shoe company, he goes to his dad's shoe company, and he kind of knows everyone there, right? Everyone likes him. There's a shoe in the movie, and I wanted to jump to this fun fact real quick that gets highlighted. And David Alan Grier is like, "Hey, I want this shoe. It's 1969." And he wants to make this shoe. It looks like it's from the 90s. And he's like, everyone will be wearing these. And everyone kind of looks at him like he's crazy. Well, it's a real shoe, if you didn't know. I
didn't.
It's a Nike Air Max shoe. It was Charles Barkley's signature shoe. So like kind of like a Michael Jordan shoe or an Air Jordan or yeah, that's terrible.
Terrible.
But they basically took off the Nike there, and I don't know, maybe Nike sent them a pair. I don't know, but it is.
They had to have.
I actually own the black pair, which is in the photo there of Charles Barkley. So it's kind of funny. I mean, this movie came out in '95, so this shoe came out in '94. So yeah, yeah, pair of Barkleys in the '90s. Yep, you are right. You die after you buy them.
Parrish shoes.
They were pretty comfortable. They were comfortable but expensive for the 90s. I mean, I think that shoe right there in the 1990s was like $100, which was pretty pricey for a pair of shoes.
Oh yeah,
adult $90. The kids' shoes were cheaper. Yeah, so he takes this poor Alan. His dad's like, "What are you doing here? You know, you're going to cause a problem." He does. He
puts it on the conveyor belt.
Yeah, he actually leaves the shoe on the conveyor belt. This poor guy's invention, and it gets just destroyed and just stops business production for an entire day. And that poor Alan Greer gets fired because the kid doesn't confess that it was him, and he kind of runs off and gets sad, you know, because he's already been bullied. Now his dad hates him, and he kind of runs off for that. Yeah, I like them. My brother had to have the Jordans. Yeah, they were good shoes. So here's that scene where he's kind of. So they're building something extra. I don't know if it's an office or something in the town.
Yeah, there's construction going in, and like they're digging down to make the basement or whatever.
Right. Yeah, and he's kind of snooping around, checking it out, and then he hears the thumping. He hears that thump thump. You know what it also reminds me of a little bit.
George of the jungle, strong as he can be.
Mind you, in 1969, the pinnacle of basketball football was Converse Chuck D. Yeah, it was Converse shoes. Yeah. No one was like,
those are still great shoes.
Air Bubbles. What are those? Air Bubbles didn't really come out until like the 90s anyways. All right, so he finds the game, brushes it off a little bit. He's like, what is this? This looks interesting.
It's in a chest full of dirt. He's like, oh, random thing. I'm going to take that home.
What's weird is it's pretty deep. Those kids buried it far. Because he has to like walk down a pretty like significant ditch to.
Yeah, that's why I said like they're probably putting in a basement before they start construction of a building, because they're about like the ground he's on is probably about 8 to 10 feet down from the surface, and that is about eye level with him.
Yeah.
So it's at least like 5 feet under the surface, maybe 6.
That's what she said. Michael.
Anyways, so he finds it. He digs through the ground. He pulls it out. Would you take this home if you were a kid? I don't think I would.
Oh, I probably would. But also, right there on the cover of it is 4 main points. You got the hunter, the rhinoceros, the monkey, and the bat. I think is in the bottom right.
Yeah, and they both appear in the movie.
Yeah.
So, I wish they had this on the cover.
That's far more terrifying.
It is. So he takes it home. He's supposed to stay home by himself. His parents are going to some fundraiser that rich people have to go to.
Yeah, his dad's the guest of honor.
Right. And R2, we're still on the shoes here. I remember Larry Johnson's Converse. Get gel liquid fill pockets in the shoe, and his catchphrase was react this way, juice react that way. Yeah. That was a good shoe too. Anyway.
But yeah, he doesn't really. He has a disagreement with his parents, and he basically tells his father, "You're never going to see me again." His dad just dismisses him, and he starts like putting together a suitcase to run away, and then he gets a knock on the door, and the neighbor girl shows up, and then they both hear the drum beat of Jumanji.
Right. Yeah, and she's like, "Oh, sure, I guess we could play." He thought it should be fun, right? And
well, I mean, even more than that, the game just decides, because like even before she got there, he pulled out a couple of pieces, and when he dropped them, they like snapped into position and everything.
Mm-hmm. Now I forgot who rolls first. Is it the girl? She has to have.
No, hold on.
I just watched this. I forgot.
I think he does. He rolls. They get the bats. The bats don't show up yet. No. Okay. I just watched it today, and I still can't remember.
She plays first, because remember when they're like, "Oh, it starts over," and they're looking for her when she's older. But yeah, she had to roll first. Yeah. The bats come out. Then he rolls. And there's like some like there's something where he has to it says you have to go in the jungle until the next like go round. Right?
In the jungle, you must wait until the dice reach 5 or 8.
Yeah, so it's like a board. You play board games, so it's like
it's basically like go to jail until somebody rolls something.
You get your turn. You get to skip turns.
Yeah.
Right? And she freaks out because she literally sees poor Alan Parrish literally gets sucked into this little green hole. And,
Yeah, he gets spaghettified, kind of like getting sucked into a black hole.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy. And she freaks out. She runs away.
Well, she also gets chased out by the bats that were it spawned in, for lack of a better term, when she rolled her turn.
Yeah, and then it kind of just goes crazy from there. So we're gonna pause on that. But yeah, the cast in this movie, like I said, Robin Williams, Kristen Dunst, which Kristen Dunst was. I was joking with R2 earlier when I was talking about this movie. Okay, so one of her first big movies, Kristen Dunst, was Interview with a Vampire, and she's like a bloodthirsty, horny vampire at the age of like 10 or 11. So like all these adults are watching this movie, and then they're like, "Oh, cool! I'll take my kid to a Jumanji movie," and then here she is. What the heck?
I've never seen Interview with the Vampire.
Yeah,
I did not expect that description to come out.
Yeah, she's very ruthless in that movie. She almost won an Academy Award, I think, just because of the way she was just so like crazy. Like, you're like 12. But then you watch this movie and she's like, that would be weird as a parent.
Yeah. Here she's just a
Mommy,
pathological liar.
I want to play the game like that girl. No. They have Bonnie Hunt, which is Sarah, and then you have Peter Shepard. So though you have the young and the old kid, they play the younger versions of those actresses. And then you have Jonathan Hyde, who plays the dad,
and Van Pelt.
Yes, and Van Pelt, which I didn't realize that until today as well.
I have some thoughts on that later.
And then you have Laura Bell, the other Sarah, and then their aunt, the kid's aunt, Dave. And then you have David Allen Greer, which he's really funny in this movie as the cop.
He is, but he's also basically just David Allen Greer playing David Allen Greer in a cop uniform. He's not really stretching his acting ability, but it works in the role. It's funny enough.
Yeah. And then you have Alan Parrish, the young Alan Parrish, and so on. So nice little cast. I mean, it's not like crazy, but yeah. I think Robin Williams, maybe Kristen Dunst because she was a kid star. David Allen Greer and Bonnie Hunt are your like big stars. So
yeah.
But and Jonathan Hyde, I would say, but not. I think Robin Williams would be your person to sell this movie.
Oh, absolutely.
What I'm saying. All right, so we're going to jump right into the numbers and find out what that's all.
11, 92, 12, plus.
All right, budget box office. Again, this came out on December 15th, 1995. So right around Christmas movie. There's The Lion, which looks terrifying even today.
Yeah. The Lion was actually, that's the animatronic. They had an animatronic, but they also had a really detailed CG model that they used for a couple of shots briefly that was back before they could kind of automate certain things, and they had to go in and hand animate like hairs on its mane.
Right.
Which take that into consideration whenever you're guessing the budget here, because while there's not a ton of VFX in this film, there's some really early VFX which would have probably upped the budget.
Right. So this is when you guess, everyone. If you're live, put it in the chat. Budget and then the box office, what you think it would be, and then or was, and then if you're watching after the fact, you can pause it, maybe guess. Aaron says $1, Bob.
Aaron, you can only guess $1 after everybody else guesses something. Come on.
Practical effects were great. Yeah, they were great. The monkeys were actually pretty good in this movie too.
Sometimes.
The monkey and the mosquitoes and the elephants.
Oh yeah.
All the I think it was pretty fair
The animatronic spiders are pretty damn creepy for back in the day.
I don't think it was supposed to be too realistic though, because it was a board game. I think it was supposed to be a little funky. You know what I mean?
Well, yeah, I mean, it was supposed to be fantastical.
Yeah, it's supposed to be a little cartoony, right?
Yeah.
So yeah. All right. What do you think?
I think. Okay, I usually will over budget for actor names back in the day, but this was before like they would be so demanding that they'd say like I'm $100,000 or I'm not showing up. So I kind of want to say like,
just so you know, everyone, that's what Beard charges us to be on.
Yeah,
the
yeah,
show.
or like 100,000. I mean 100 million. Let's see. Probably I want to say like 55 million budget, with a big chunk of that going to some of the CGI special effects. And box office, I want to say probably 120 million. I think it made a little bit more than double.
Okay. And again, everyone else, you can definitely guess. It looks like we unmuted Aaron.
Yeah. Yeah. See, you mute. I had to say it, and then Aaron pops in because he still has to say it.
Yeah. So I think this movie did pretty good in the box office, to be honest. I think it was a fun movie.
Mm-hmm.
I'm hoping I don't know the numbers either. So I'm thinking like probably a little over 100 million, and then it probably made a good chunk. 120, hey Def.
Hey, what's up, man?
Over 2 million.
120 over 200. Okay.
Yeah, he's pretty good at guessing these. All right, here we go.
And...
All right, so the budget was 65 million. We were way over.
When that box office was way better than I thought.
I mean, yeah, that's a little over 250 million, which is very good for the 90s. How much would it take to get Beard to show up every day? I would say maybe $100 plus a monkey.
I mean, are we talking money or steak, cheese? I take food too.
We're talking monkey.
No, that's not happening.
Anyways, box office 262 million. Budget. Did anybody like? I mean, yeah, that's like $84 in a case of burger.
You know what? That would work for me.
Def was close to the box office.
I kind of want to see what that. Let's see, that was a team. Let's call it that, and 262.
Well, while you're sharing that, while you're looking at that, I'm going to share something pretty funny that R2 had came up with.
Wow.
Today.
That's a little over 500 million today. That's nothing to shake a stick at.
Okay.
Oh.
I've seen things you've only seen in your nightmares. Things you can't even imagine.
These are so creepy.
In the night, something screams. Then you hear them eating. And you hope to God that you're not deserted. Afraid? You don't know what afraid is.
Little kid JT made me like go lightheaded laughing.
Yeah, like little kid has a beard. Hobbit.
He looks like a background hobbit.
I probably was. The CGI would seem like it's over 100 million per budget.
Yeah, I mean, I would agree, but there just wasn't that much CGI in there. There were a couple of there's a stampede scene, which I actually seen a couple of behind the scenes of that on how they did it. There was a couple of brief scenes with the lion. The lion was mostly practical, but a couple of quick cuts were CGI. And then there were the monkeys. But other than that, there wasn't a ton, I guess with some of the vines, but there wasn't actually a ton of CGI. Just what they did was kind of very groundbreaking and impressive for the day.
Yeah, there was that quicksand scene too. All right, so Then we jump from 1969 to 26 years later, 1995, I believe, or 4, and the Parrish house is empty. Apparently, his dad went nuts because everyone thought that he murdered his kid.
Mm-hmm.
Like, where does his body and everything? So he lost everything. Company, town, turned into crap because he was the main supplier of jobs there. You know, that would probably would have happened anyways. In the 2000, Robin Williams' character probably was like, I'm going to send all my shoes to China.
Yeah. I mean, you can't really go from the 60s to the 90s and compete with Reebok and Nike and everything else.
Yeah, he probably sold his market to Walmart or something. Well, they probably lost all their jobs anyways. Anyways, 26 years later, his house is empty. They like left everything. His dad literally, I think his wife left him. Everything just went to crap for the family.
Well, no, I don't think he's separated because we end up seeing that once Peter comes back and he finds out, like goes and sees their gravestones. Jumping ahead a little bit, they only died 4 years before he came back, so he was this close to actually seeing his parents again.
Mm-hmm.
They died in the same year, just a couple of months apart from each other.
Maybe
so. I think they stayed together, but they were ultimately just ruined. And I think the state of the house was just, they lived there without being able to upkeep anything. Obviously, they didn't have him around anymore. Apparently, didn't have any other family or any other executor of the will to sell off stuff in the house. That's why we see furniture and books and things still laying around.
Yeah. And then these two young kids show up with their aunt. And so you have Judy and you have Peter. And I believe those are the names of the kids in the book as well.
I think so, yeah.
And they're with their aunt because their parents died in like a horrific ski accident. So they're kind of like moving into a new town as well. They're kind of...
Well, what happened to their parents depends on when you ask the daughter. Because she's a habitual liar. She makes up stories. What actually happened is a brief line is there was a car crash in Canada. That was it.
Well, I think they were going to a ski trip, but yeah.
Okay. Oh, yeah, that's right. Because that's later on, yeah.
Yeah. So anyways, they're like, in this house. And remember when the kid got sucked in, that game got left behind. It's just in the house. And they find it. Yes, there is a book. Were you not listening?
Yep. 1981
of the show. Yeah, we're gonna share more about it later on. But yes, it was. Yeah, so they start playing the game. The kids, they start seeing lions. They see monkeys. Things get crazy. And then Robert Williams comes back 26 later. He looks like Peter Pan with a beard.
He really does.
And he's like, "Where am I?" I don't think he even knew that he had it. That he got older, because I don't think he had a mirror. I don't know.
Well, I think he knew that he got older, but he still expected the world that he left to be there to some extent. Because we see him, run around the house yelling, "Mom, Dad, I'm home. I'm home." And then when he doesn't see anybody there, he asks the kids, like, "Where's my parents?" "I don't know. We live here." And so he runs to the shoe factory and sees it's all run down and destroyed, runs inside. And there's basically a homeless guy living in there that says that, I see that the parishes there, you can find them down on, whatever street. And it's a cemetery.
Yeah. And what's interesting also in the rock version of this movie, they go into the jungle, right? Mostly to do this.
I don't like that.
But they don't have any like lapse of time. This doesn't happen to them.
Yeah.
That's why I don't like that movie.
There are plenty of reasons not to like those movies.
Stop talking
because they made two of them.
Yeah. Anyways, this movie makes sense. He's stuck in there for a long period of time. And later on, we'll get to it, but things reset. But yeah, I start playing the game. And a lot of craziness happens. the hunter shows up, and they know each other. They've been
Van Pelt.
I guess they've been like hanging out in the jungle together. They know each other.
Well, it kind of makes sense. I might be stepping on some of my trivia here. Is that when he got sucked into the game, he was at odds with his dad and kind of saw his dad as the bad guy. And so having the same actor play Van Pelt, that was this bad guy that was constantly after him in the world of Jumanji, makes a lot of sense, actually.
Yeah.
It's true, guys. It's true.
We kind of jumped on some of those scenes, but there's his mom. There's David Allen Greer as a cop now. And then there's Robin Williams still running around town trying to figure out what the heck's going on. But the kids say, look, we have to play. We have to continue playing. And he's like, I don't want to do it. I'm afraid. Well, you can't. You got to keep moving forward. Or this chaos is going to ruin a lot of things in town and so on. So they do keep playing. They actually go and find Sarah, right?
Well, they have to.
Yeah, because she has to play, and she's all witchy. She's like a psychic, or she's like
no, she's psychotic. Like she spent her entire life saying that she saw a boy get sucked into a board game, and basically her parents medicated her entire life. I mean, even when they find her, she passes out. They throw her over, Robin Williams' shoulder and drag her back to the house, and she wakes up and calls her doctor asking for more medication because her grasp on reality has been tenuous, to say the least, for the last however many years.
Yeah, and she's like, you can't be alive. Because everyone thought that in town, everyone thought that Robin Williams died.
Yeah.
Was murdered, ran away, or got sucked. And she was the only one that saw what actually happened. And
of course, nobody would believe her. So can you imagine living for 20, 25 years, everybody telling you that what you full on gaslighting for that entire time?
Yeah. So here's the line again: the monkeys, the mosquitoes, the elephants. A lot of chaos in this town.
And a lot of a lot of the special effects, I don't know exactly how they did the car crush there, but I would imagine it's similar to when you see the rhinos burst through the bookcase. Is in the behind the scenes, you can see they actually had rhinoceros shaped battering ramps that they rammed through the bookcase to create the correct dispersion of debris around the shape of the animal, and then they just CGI'd over that model. Right. So they did a lot of really clever things here.
Yeah, I was always a fan of the monkeys.
Yeah, the faces even back when I was a kid, their faces kind of weirded me out.
But they're up to something.
Yeah,
they're supposed to be cartoon. It's supposed to be cartoon.
Yeah, they are intentionally supposed to be too intelligent and extra mischievous. So
yeah,
I understand.
Same with the mosquito. The mosquito knew that it couldn't it had to get through the top of the window.
Don't worry, just get low. It can't get all the way through. Oh, don't worry, it can't go through the glass. Through the glass.
Right, and the whole town is literally
pretty much, yeah.
Then you have giant seagulls, spiders, quicksand. There's a praying mantis, not a praying mantis, a Venus flytrap.
Oh, what's the is it Audrey 2 or whatever?
Yeah,
from Little Shop of Horrors.
Yeah, there's the stampede, the zebras. They're just causing all kinds of. The monkeys are the worst though. They're stealing cars. One lady dies from the mosquitoes. So it's not like a happy.
I don't know if they actually say she dies, but she definitely got bitten by them. She was the realtor that sold them the house.
Yeah. And their aunt has no idea what's going on.
No, absolutely not. She's busy driving around listening to self-help tapes.
Right. David Allen Greer is like, I need to find this guy that's Robin Williams, because every time there's something going on, he's there. And then he finds out who he is. Mm-hmm. And Robin Williams actually apologizes to him. He's like, hey man, I'm sorry you lost your job. It was because of me. I'm
Yeah.
sorry, that was all me. And we'll get to how that ties in together later. To me, this one is better than the new ones because Jumanji comes to real world instead of. That's what I'm saying. It's way better.
Yes.
Way better.
I mean, because it's
more
always
like the book.
I think it's far more interesting for the unusual and the unpredictable to enter our own world than for someone from our own world to step into the unpredictable.
Yeah,
Because it's a much more off-putting.
Yeah, and they were trying to like you're in a video game, right? You go into a video
Yeah.
game. But even the world they went into didn't feel like a video game. Like if they went into like if the Rock version was like Tron, right? Or like Wreck-It Ralph, where like they went in and they were like 2D and they were like doing crazy stuff. That would be a little bit more realistic. But anyway,
I don't know. I never even bothered to see it. So
we're just gonna jump right to the theaters.
Shut drums and stop kicking the seats! We're trying to watch the movie!
Yeah, New Jumanji was
Tron in the woods.
Yeah. All right, so this movie again came out December 15th, 1995. It was the #1 movie that weekend, which makes sense. Robin Williams, good movie, good characters, fun time. However, Toy Story was right behind it. It was on its 4th weekend.
It's still even just barely eked out above Toy Story on its 4th. That's
Toy Story was a new thing. Then you had, which we reviewed on this show, Father of the Bride 2, with another family. And then you had Heat, which was like a drug dealer movie, GoldenEye, Casino, Ace Ventura, the second one, When Nature Calls. Well, maybe he was playing the game in that movie. Money Train's actually a pretty funny movie. If anyone wants to watch that. Get Shorty, another good one. Seven is down there.
That was on its 13th week.
Yeah, Seven. Dangerous Minds, another good little movie. Let's see. Again, GoldenEye was the first Bronze. What is it?
Pierce Brosnan. Yeah.
Yeah. A lot of good movies. But Heat and Jumanji and Sabrina were in the first weekend. Do you know who Sabrina is? Oh, really? You lived in the 90s and you don't know who Sabrina is? Okay, she was like a Mexican singer that was murdered.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
That's Jennifer Lopez is in that movie.
Yeah, I should know because that was in like my area. Like, she was big down here in Texas, but
okay, yeah.
It wasn't a type of.
Oh, that's
Selena. Okay.
Oh, wow. Okay, Sabrina must be something else.
Okay, so I'm not crazy. Well,
This man!
Well, there you go. I got booed.
Now I have to look up what Sabrina is.
Yeah. Now the whole show is just.
If you need to know somebody's name, just ask me.
Who's that?
That is Beardy.
Beardy.
That's not his real name. That's just what I call him.
Sabrina, 95, an ugly duckling having undergone a remarkable change, still harbors feelings for her crush, a carefree playboy, but not before his business-focused brother has something to say about it. Starring Harrison Ford, Julia Ormond, and Greg Kinnear.
Wow. Death Row is literally like.
He's like rifling through his library in the background going, no, it's this one. Not this one. It's this one.
We need to have him on. I keep saying that, but I can never find a movie that's good for him. I need to have him on. He's always on my late night with Cap show, which he'll be on this Wednesday.
Yeah, we just need to if we planned ahead enough, we would reach out and say, hey, give us an idea and we'll get something scheduled. But we never plan ahead.
Why don't you just send me your like favorite 90s movie? Go back and see if we reviewed it or not. Like give us 2 or 3 of them and we'll just have like a Death Row month where we're just reviewing movies you like. How about that?
It'll be great. I can just sit back and actually be the idiot that I am and not know anything.
Let's do that for November. It'll be Death Row November. And it will just literally. Oh, we could do October. Well, yeah, we could do October. We like to do scary movies in October. Maybe we could. Yeah. How about we do October with Roe, and it'd be fun.
This is a live, spitballing and planning session right here, folks.
Just send us 2 or 3, maybe 4 of your favorite 90s scary movies, and maybe we'll do all of them. And maybe Beard will pick one, and I'll pick one, and we'll go from there. And you could be on it every Monday with us. All right. Yeah, in the theaters, 7 terrified me, but I didn't get to see that until I was much older. Yeah. Showgirls, Basic Instinct, Jade, and Wild. Yeah, that'll be Def Bros pick. Now, remember, Def, it has to be something we may have watched when we were kids in the 90s or 80s. It can't be like rated R too much.
Well, I know some people who, being kids, never mind. Moving on.
Yeah, you could like if there was a movie that you snuck to watch, maybe. It's supposed to be a little lighthearted here, just so you know. Not Wild Things R2. You know R2's favorite movie. Okay, so trivia. We're just gonna jump into trivia. We've already been kind of talking about trivia anyways. Throughout the whole time. So you're getting a bunch of it. So yes, these are stills from the book. Again, it was a book. If you're wanting to, you can buy the book, obviously. Original book can go for a lot of money. But if you want to just kind of check it out without buying it, there is a YouTube channel that plays it like a read along. It's right here in the chat. And it's pretty cool. And like I said, it goes through a lot of the whole book, actually. The girl reads it. She's okay, but you can check it out. That's over there, Reading Rhinos. Fun title. So,
all right.
But you can check that out. Reading Rhinos. I have the book. Yeah, I think we do too.
Oh.
It's a fun book. Like I said, there's the rhinos there. There's snakes. I think there was a snake in the movie. Obviously,
the skipped over that one.
Yeah, there are the monkeys.
The lion on the piano. That was good.
That was in the movie. Yeah.
Yeah.
They do have the stampede, the rhinos. I think the water. There's a water scene with the gators. That's in
the monsoon.
Yep. But what's different is it's just the 2 kids. There's not Alan, and you don't have the town just getting destroyed. It's mostly just his house. So what facts do you have, Beard?
I already hinted at a couple of them as we're going through here, but I try to pull a few others. So let's start with, I kind of referenced this earlier, that dual casting of Jonathan Hyde as both Alan's father and as Van Pelt the hunter is actually similar to the theatrical custom of Peter Pan, where the same person on stage would play both George Darling and Captain Hook. Now, we don't see that in Hook, but of course, Robin Williams also played grown-up Peter Pan in Hook, so there's a little bit of crossover right there. But like I said, that makes perfect sense in the story, because when Alan disappeared, he was at odds with his dad and kind of saw him as the enemy. So that makes sense that he would kind of take on that look inside of Jumanji.
Right.
Let's see here. The Jumanji game.
The hunter is in the book.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that would make sense.
He's in the book. But
he's
not trying to shoot the ball, but he's in the book.
The actual game board for Jumanji obviously was very popular as a collectible throughout the years, to the point where the on-screen board that was, or at least one of them that was used, was sold in 2014 for nearly $61,000, which actually is kind of a low price for some movie collectibles. But
so you're talking like you can actually play the game. It's like
the $61,000 was the one that they, at least one of the ones they used on screen.
Okay, I know you can. We have a version of this that Milton Bradley made.
Yeah, I remember them putting something out.
Mm-hmm. It's fun.
So there's one point where their aunt is driving along and she sees the stampede go running by. And at the end of that stampede, it's a rhino that's lagging behind that kind of looks back and is moving a little bit weird. and that wasn't intentional. That was an animation error. It was rendered at a different frame rate, and instead of fixing it, they just enhanced it with some wheezing, like heavy breathing sounds to make it seem like it was a fat rhino that couldn't keep up.
I think I remember that. I do remember it now. That's actually kind of funny. See,
it is funny, but it was completely a mistake that they just covered up because they didn't have time to fix it properly.
But that makes it real, right? You could have had a rhino that was kind of like, oh, what are we doing here, guys? You know, like, and that
look.
Make it more fun, more cartoony.
Are we all at some point in our life that rhino that's lagging behind, having to like huff and puff to keep up with the crowd?
No, but yeah,
some of us are. We can't all be super soldiers.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't know that, but that's funny because, like I said,
yeah, I mean, it is actually kind of a funny little scene, but they basically like yeah, when life gives you lemons. I only got a couple more here. So for the role of Sarah Whittle, this is the list of people who were considered. Kim Cattrall, Jamie Lee Curtis, Julia Roberts, Jodie Foster, Sandra Bullock, Madonna, Demi Moore, Michelle Pfeiffer, Meg Ryan, Sharon Stone, Jennifer Tilly, Leah Thompson, Jane Leaves, Joan Cusack, Daryl Hannah, Helen Hunt, Julianne Moore, Heather Locklear, Sharon Lawrence, Kelly Preston, Terry Hatcher, Jennifer Jason Leigh, Jennifer Grey, Rebecca De Mornay, and Courtney Thorne Smith. So basically, any female that had a recognizable name during that period of time, they considered for that role.
Yeah. Wow. I think they picked I think who they picked was good.
Yeah, I think so too. And then
it was good. Yeah.
Lastly, and you kind of hinted at this earlier, the actual filming location, the town, was Keene, New Hampshire. And Robin Williams was so beloved by Keene, New Hampshire townsfolk during the filming that he was presented with the keys to the city by the mayor in 1994. And after his death in 2014, Keene residents crafted a makeshift memorial of flowers and candles below the Parrish Shoes sign, and even organized a public screening of the film.
Wow, he died 10 years ago. That's crazy.
Yeah.
They didn't build someone else did that in Groundhog Day. Didn't he do that?
I don't recall.
I thought he bought a bunch of people donuts.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
What's his face? Yeah.
What's his face?
But
this guy.
yeah, this guy. But yeah, it's nice that like he was
Rise and shine.
I think he bought a bunch of donuts for people. I don't think he
Phil Murray, he was a nice guy to the town.
Yeah,
but it is kind of nice, or Bill Murray.
That
guy. It's great that Robin Williams was like so beloved during that filming that even when he died all those years later after the movie was filmed, like people still remembered him and wanted to honor him.
Yeah, well,
because I mean, it's so easy with movie productions for stars to come in and basically take over the town and be an ass to everybody and leave trash around, and they don't really care about what's going on. So it's nice to hear a story about whenever they're actually liked by the locals.
Yeah, I think Robin Williams was just a likable guy.
Yeah,
a lot. Even if you didn't agree with something he would say or do or whatever, maybe if you didn't even really like his movies, he was still likable. I think he was always fun. So,
I mean, he was one of those comedians that I think spoke candidly, and there's been several of them that have done it, that their desire to make people laugh is rooted in their desire to not have people have to experience the darkness of life that they did growing up. So they use it it's not even what may have originated as a coping mechanism for them as a kid has grown into trying to bring light to other people around them, so that, like I said, they don't have to go through that same darkness. So I completely believe he would have been a very likable person.
Yeah. He was I think anyone who interacted with him said he was fun to be around. There's a good documentary out there. I think it's on HBO or Netflix. about him, and he did have kind of a dark life, but you would never know it based on the way he acted. So.
Yeah.
Oh, really? Was really Ewan McGregor was really cool when he was in town for The Big Fish. That's a good movie. I like that
Awesome.
movie too. He was in your town. Def?
Oh, Death Row just doxed himself a little bit.
Wow. Okay. Do you have any more facts?
That's all I had written down for today.
Okay. There you go.
There's a lot more out there, so anybody that wants to look into it, there's plenty more.
I didn't get to play it, but that's it.
That's the fact, Jack! That's the fact, Jack!
So to kind of wrap it up, they finished the game, almost die a couple times. When they finished the game, spoiler alert, everyone, it resets life as they know it.
For everybody except them. This is actually an interesting time travel kind of paradox.
And there's some weird things about this because the two Robin Williams' character and Bonnie's character, they were kids, right? When it reset.
Yeah.
So they go back to kids. They still have like a memory. They were still alive. They're living their life knowing that this was happening.
Yeah, Alan and Sarah remember everything from that, at least for the most part, because they say something along the lines of like, I wanted, while I still remember being adult and things like this. But we see them later on at the Christmas party and they see Peter and Judy and they recognize them. But the weird thing, like I think you're getting to, is the fact that Peter and Judy remember everything that happened, even though it happened and everything got reset before they were even born. It's weird.
So they got born. They were born, and they're like, I keep having these weird dreams or remembers of like these people.
Yeah.
Mommy, who's this guy?
Yeah, I mean, there's little things here because he's Alan has hired their parents to work at the Parrish Shoe Company, and they say, "Oh, when can you start? Oh, we're going to go up to Canada for a ski trip." And no, we need you to really get on this right now. It's like, oh, okay, we can.
Yeah, you can't have
schedule that. Yeah, and they have like gifts. They have gifts for their kids, even though they've never technically met them before.
But the kids look at them like, "Oh, I recognize you."
They absolutely know. But there's also a little throwaway line where it's like, "Yeah, let me show you around. Our house was yours. I mean, is yours, or your house was ours," or something like that. There's a weird kind of like throwaway line there.
Could you imagine if you were a kid, like I like you were born and also you're like, I remember these adults, but I don't ever see them.
Yeah, like 5 years old, you're like trying to tell your parents, like, so there was this lion and this guy with a weird beard and then the spiders.
Nice dream. And then but yeah, they it looks like the town's doing better. David Alan Grier, I'm assuming, still has a job with the shoe company, not a cop. He's actually there playing a guitar, I think, in the background. My grades would be better if I remember everything. Yeah, me too. He throws like this huge Christmas party for the town. And I have a feeling they kind of hinted at his dad was kind of a stickler, even in the town. Like people knew he was like, they didn't really like him, right?
Yeah.
He was that boss, like, or owner that no one liked. But he was different. Robin Williams' character wanted to be different. I don't think his dad threw Christmas parties. No,
there's actually a line in there. And I remember, I almost forgot that I pulled this quote up. It's when Alan is walking along and Peter, having turned into a monkey hybrid.
Why are you crying?
He's crying. Yeah, he's crying. He says, "What are you crying? You don't cry, all right? You keep your chin up. Come on, keep your chin up. Crying never helped anybody do anything, okay? You have a problem, you face it like a man." And then there's this pause. And he goes, hey, I'm sorry, okay? 26 years buried in the deepest, darkest jungle, and I still became my father.
Yep.
That's a good line right there.
It is. And I have a feeling, because like when he comes back, his dad like forgets something. And he comes through the door and he's like, "Oh my God, I'm sorry, whatever, give me a hug and I love you, Dad.
Yeah.
And his dad's kind of he says, hey, look, if you don't want to go to the school, he has like a change of heart. And I think at that moment he maybe knew in the back of his head that something bad could have happened, right? You have like those little hints. Maybe he did, and then maybe he did start throwing Christmas parties. Who knows?
Well, I think, his dad forgets his note cards because he's like the featured speaker at the party or what the event they're going to, and they have that moment we see there where he like hugs him and everything. And I think his dad suggests like maybe you don't have to go to the school because he looks over his shoulder and sees the girl, and he thinks, oh, he didn't want to go get shipped off to boarding school because he's got a girl here. And so I think that it wasn't necessarily like it softened his heart or anything, but he's like, oh, okay, he just kind of wants to be a boy.
His dad was probably hard nosed. Like he was that generation. He probably probably fought in the war.
Yeah.
Who knows? So but it was this weird, like, he goes back and he's like, because if he vanished and he forgot something, this girl's running out of his house with bats.
Yeah.
Oh, I forgot something, and here's this girl running. Maybe he obviously saw something that caused him to go a little weird. But yeah, it's a fun ending to a great film. He's married with Sarah, and they hired the parents of Judy and Peter, and they kind of end on a happy note. And then they chuck the game in the water.
Yeah.
After
and it ends up like crossing the ocean or whatever and washing up on the shore.
Again, that doesn't make sense either. Think about that. It resets. Does it reset? Because it had to reset at that moment. When they go throw the game away, hasn't it already been reset?
Well, yeah, but they throw it away in 1969.
Oh, that's right. It was on. Okay, you're right. I got the.
And see, I think that was a missed opportunity with the sequels. To like just go ahead. We've already seen where it washed up on the shore someplace else. Let's see the story from that area. It's a whole other part of the world. So there was so much they could have explored there with like other kind of like lore and stuff kind of like popping in. I don't know.
It ends up in hands of Tom Hanks's son. Okay. It does. All right. So we are going to wrap it up here with our Critic List review. Again, this is criticlist.com, and this is where we post our review after the fact. We do put our video out there once the live show's done. And so good way to kind of wrap it up. And it's a place where no critics are, but it's just people reviewing movies. And the really cool thing is, if you notice here, there's not like an overall score yet, because they wait until 10 voters to actually make a good score, unlike Rotten Tomatoes. Okay, so let's go ahead and add our review here. And 1995. I remember liking this movie when I was a kid. I still liked it when I was an adult. So I'm thinking it's up kind of around here. And
I am absolutely okay with that.
I'm not going to go full blown 90, but or 95 or above. But yeah, we're gonna get to that.
Yeah, I mean, most of the special effects hold up. Some of them very don't. But as the core story and the core entertainment, yes, absolutely, I agree. Most excellent.
Right. All right, so we'll keep it at a 93 there. I don't think there's any graphic language at all.
No.
There's violence with the animals.
Yeah, and you got some gun shots in there that might put some parents off, but
there's really no nudity.
Nope.
Very family friendly.
Very.
How much entertainment? This is a new rating, by the way, where I think it's a ton. Where like it might be a bad movie, but it's entertaining to watch, right?
Right.
And that's what that's for. So there you go.
That was a nice addition there.
Yeah. So there you go. You can follow us over on Critic List too if you want haven't been over there yet, you can find us over there at After the Weekend. So I'll go ahead and add this review here.
And we can't be doing this if I don't do the thing and say, not sponsored. We just like them. They're cool guys.
Yeah. Real quick, we'll get into this. Yes, there is a sequel to Jumanji, actually, the board game. It's one in space. I think it's called Zathura, something like that.
Oh, I've heard that theory.
No, it is not a theory. It's a thing.
Is it? I've never seen it.
It's an actual sequel. And I think it's called this theory. It's a book too. It's another book by the same author. But yeah, it's I lost it and then I had it.
Zathura.
Zathura. Yep. Mm-hmm. Yep.
Huh.
And it's a space board game.
Oh, okay. I've not seen that, but I've seen videos about it.
Yeah, it came out 10 years after this movie. And basically their house gets sent off to space. And yeah, Dax Shepard is in it.
Okay, two brothers find a board game called Zathura, has mystical powers, sends them on an intergalactic adventure.
Right.
Okay.
And I think that's what it's got the kid from Josh Hutcherson. He's really young in it, but he's the kid from Hunger Games.
Yeah.
Tim Robbins, Dax Shepard, Kristen Stewart's also in it. So yeah. Now, R2 hinted at it, but I believe the board game Jumanji is in the movie. There are sequels. We just talked about it. It's right here. Here, I'll show everybody in case you don't know what I'm talking about. Yeah, it's called Zathura, and there is a sequel. It just wasn't made by the same people. So here it is. There it is. But it is a sequel to the board game. It's not like they don't call it out, but there are like hints to it. So
yeah, I just started scrolling through some of the information on there. Apparently, they made a life-size replica of Kristen Stewart for that scene right there where she's supposed to be frozen. And apparently not long after the movie finished up, a bunch of men were supposedly offered to buy the replica.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Yeah,
woof. Yeeks. That's not Zathura. Come on.
I know. I'll probably get dinged because of this stupid trailer too. No one cares. Okay, so we got this one here.
And apparently this was the same house that was used in the Shia LaBeouf movie Disturbia.
Yeah, there's the board game. So
yes, there was a Jumanji cartoon. It wasn't great.
Yeah, so similar.
Eat this for me.
Yeah, so then they go into space, and I don't
must
want
be microchips or something. Yeah, I've seen some breakdowns of this, like some summaries of the movie, but I've never seen it.
The World of Jumanji.
So I guess in the world of Jumanji, there's just a bunch of like semi-sentient board games that trap kids.
Look how young that kid is from Hunger Games. Look at him. It's right here. That's pretty crazy. Anyways, that was a good movie. I like that movie. We could probably review it again. We could probably review that. That was fun. Yeah, there you go. Jumanji. We gave it a 93% most excellent over there in Criticalist. Yeah, John Farvey did it. Very fun. Now, Beard, okay, you have a link tree. People can find it on your Twitter account at BeardOfLiberty. Or X account. Sorry. What do you have going on in the few days?
The most immediate thing that's happening next is tomorrow on Jacob Ironside's channel we'll be taking a look at Ben-Hur. a first watch for me.
You know, that's a good one.
That's what I hear.
Yeah. I would love to do a review with Jacob. It's just they're so long. Your shows are so long. I really, it's not you. It's my life would not work.
Yeah.
So maybe Jacob, if I can, it'd be great. Maybe I could just come on for like, I'll give my quick 30-minute breakdown of the movie and then I'll bounce. And I feel bad, but
yeah, I mean it's okay. You're like what 100 and something years old. You get tired quick.
Actually, my birthday was last week, and if you count the frozen years, I think I'm like 80 something.
Okay, all right.
Yeah, born in 1920.
You look good for 80 something.
Yeah, that's what I say. That's what they say. Now, if you are interested in the Creepy Mystery Unknown, Wednesday night is my monthly live stream show over there on Late Night with Cap, and we're revisiting more Art Bell open line calls. Last month we did the Alaskan Triangle, but every other month we do these Art Bell, which are hilarious. Def Ro's actually going to be there. He will be there. I'm going to give you a hint at one of the videos that we will be audio clips we'll be playing. And this will get Def Ro like hunting. He likes to find out what I don't tell them beforehand what they are. One of the calls, someone collects something that's really gross. So be prepared for that.
I was about to make a comment about could you be a little bit more vague, but then I remember Def Ro's in the chat. If you give him any more information, he will find it.
Yeah, I'm serious, Def. Send me some movies, and maybe for October we'll do Def horror month with you. Have you seen X-Files? JT,
yeah,
you can be on.
Yeah, we do 2 episodes of X-Files on the first Tuesday of every month.
I long time ago, but I have watched X-Files. It's okay, Emma. Good to see you. You can always rewind.
Hi.
But there you go. You can check us out over there on Jacob's review channel with Beard there, and he also plays video games. And then check out Late Night with Cap on this Wednesday night, 8:30 p.m. Central, if you want to listen to some Art Bell and us fools get grossed out and laugh at it. I think that'd be fun. Beard, do you have like a cool jungle quote?
Well, I could just start singing "Welcome to the Jungle," but I don't think anybody would really enjoy hearing that. So
okay, we'll just
leave it. George of the jungle, strong as he can be.
All right, everyone, you have a good night. We'll see you later.
Truck to refrigerators to dumpster, 360 spin onto the palace, backflip gainer into the trash.
This is it. Man, big just